Hi, folks. I'm Jamie Hiles.
I'm Lydia Judy.
And I don't know what that was. I'm Derek Lemaster.
We just watched Bad Milo, and this is Green Bloody Movies, the podcast where we review a horror movie each week, and we go over the horror news. Guys, I'm having a really bad stomach pain tonight, so we might need to move on pretty quickly with this. How are you guys doing tonight?
Terrible. Really stressed. A lot of stress at work,
You having a stomach cramp because of it?
Irritable bowel syndrome.
Just a little bit. I try not to think about it too much.
Whatever, man. I let it out. That's what I do. I don't try to hold that shit in.
I know, Derek. Lydia knows. She's been on set with you. She knows. You should always let it out. No, this week we watched Bad Milo, and we'll get into that. There's a lot to talk about. But, guys, before we do, I want to get into the horror news because we have a lot. There's a lot. A lot happened, guys. A lot happened in this last week. And I'm going to give it all to you and get your guys' reactions. You ready? There is a new Sydney Sweeney has a new movie coming out next Christmas, directed by Paul Feig, called The Housemaid. It's a suspense thriller. In it, Sydney Sweeney plays Millie, who is a struggling young woman who is relieved to get a fresh start as a housemaid to Nina and Andrew, a wealthy couple. She soon learns that the family's secrets are far more dangerous than her own. Ooh.
So she's going to be a housemaid.
Mm-hmm. It's the reverse.
For a rich guy.
Yeah, and a rich couple.
Yeah, that couple. Wife is not smart.
Rich couple. Yeah. I mean, Sydney Sweeney is Sydney Sweeney. I agree. But, come on, man. So it's like kind of like reverse Hand That Rocks the Cradle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because, Hand That Rocks the Cradle is well-to-do family hires creepy housemaid. Nanny. This is well-to-do housemaid volunteers for creepy couple. I'll watch it. I like Sydney Sweeney. I've liked everything she's done.
We know you'll watch
it. Hey, I'll watch it for the plot.
Yeah, okay.
Both of the plots. No, for real. I think
and the valleys.
No, she's great. I think she's a good actress, and I love that she loves horror. Keep it coming. Yeah, all of our heroines keep waving the horror flag. Guys, this is fun. There is a new Ghostbusters animated movie and animated series in the works. Derek, this means especially more to you and me because we grew up in the era of the real Ghostbusters. Not only the films, but the real Ghostbusters cartoon, which was, for my money, besides Batman the Animated Series, probably the best animated show ever, right?
Oh, it was man, those were just amazing. If you were a kid and you grew up in that era, like you probably know how well if you have kids now, you know how well you had it back then. Because the cartoons today are shit. They are so terrible. Oh my gosh. I almost can't watch them. I'm just like, this is making my kids dumber. It's terrible.
Yeah. We watch a lot of like good ones, but we don't watch we watch like, Secret Life of Pets and shit. So that's good stuff. But I'm excited. I'm a fan of the new Ghostbuster stuff. Some people, your mileage may vary, but some people just don't know how to have fun, I feel like, anymore. And so, like, the new, I think Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is just a lot of fun. So I'm all for any new Ghostbuster stuff we get. Bring it on. It's finally happened. We have 2 casting announcements. First, they both are ones that we expected, but they have been officially announced. Courtney Cox is returning as Gale Weathers in Scream 7. So it's official. And Jennifer Love Hewitt has officially joined the I Know You Did Last Summer Legacy sequel.
That was inevitable.
So, yeah, they both were inevitable, but neither of them were official. But now they are. So those two actresses are signed on. And they're both very important. Courtney Cox has not missed a Scream movie. So that's great. It wouldn't feel like Scream without her, probably. And then it definitely wouldn't feel like I Know What You Did Last Summer without Jennifer Love Hewitt. She is the main character. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. What do you guys think?
I think that's insane to think about. I mean, Courtney Cox has been in, like you said, every Scream movie, but Jennifer Love Hewitt coming back is like, that's been a long time coming, I feel like.
Yeah, well, I mean, they set up the sequel with the horrible ending of part 2, which we'll have to get into at one point because we have to watch it. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where she is. I mean, we talked about it when we did I Know What You Did Last Summer. We thought that I Know What You Did Last Summer is kind of like Scream Light. It's not on the level. It's kind of like here. There's a gap, but it's still fun. So it will be interesting to see how it plays out in the new world. Also, we have a bunch of other Scream casting, but this one, Mesa Gooding, who plays Chad Meeks Martin in Scream 5 and 6, is returning. So we are having some, which was a big question mark, if any of the cast from Scream 5 and 6 would be in the film. Looks like he is, at least. So those movies are still canon. That's what we didn't know. Are they going to just pretend like they didn't exist? What are we going to do? But it looks like they're canon. So we are getting some returning Scream characters. You guys still have to watch Scream 5 and 6. So, I mean, Scream 3 we have to get to before we even get to those.
Mm-hmm.
Lydia, we talked about this movie the other day, but David Harbour has confirmed that they are doing a Violent Night 2, and it's happening soon.
Nice.
Yeah, so you watched it. You liked it, right?
Yeah, it was all right. Pretty good.
Yep. Derek, you haven't seen it yet, right?
Nope.
Well, we'll have to get to it. But yeah, they say that it looks like the director, Tommy Wirkola, is also returning. So that's cool. It's good. I like when the creative team returns. That's, means that you're usually in pretty good hands. Unless you're unless it's the Evil Dead franchise and you really don't have to worry because Sam Raimi's overlording over it. So he's like, no. We only do the good stuff here. No bad films in this franchise, let me tell you. And then finally, we talked last week about the Mike Flanagan written Clayface movie. We have a tentative release date, which is September 11th of 2026. So a full 2 years. But, well, not quite a full 2 years. Less than 2 years. But,
just shy, yeah.
Yep, just shy of 2 years. What are you guys' no, Derek, we talked about how excited we are. Lydia doesn't know much about it, but she's excited that Mike Flanagan is just writing another movie, obviously.
Yeah, I'm interested.
Yep. And Derek, do you think that's too long to wait? Do you think it's too soon? Or are you comfortable with that release window?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's too soon. From my understanding, they are really taking their time to plot out the new DC universe, and he's going to play in that, right? He's going to be in that.
Yeah, it's going to be in that. Well, we don't know. Here's what we don't know. We don't know
that or
if
the
it's
Robert Pattinson, maybe.
Well, no. Here's what we don't know. We don't know if it's going to be in else because James Gunn's been open about Elseworlds. Elseworlds films, so it could totally be an Elseworld story. We don't know where if it falls into the DCU or if it's an Elseworld story. So we'll know more about that as more details emerge.
Yeah, just based on the route they took with the Penguin, it probably is going to be an Elseworld because he's connected to the Batman universe, and that's
an Elseworld story
at this point. Still not,
far, but I mean, we don't know. We don't know. James Gunn's basically said that he's not opposed to Pattinson being the DC universe's Batman. But we don't know. He's tight-lipped about it, basically. Because we know we're getting Matt Reeves a sequel, regardless, and we know that we have the Brave and the Bold on the schedule at some point. So what does that mean? I know
Macaulay Culkin is young enough; he could be the Batman.
Why would you have Macaulay Culkin be Batman? What the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, I watched him kick the shit out of 2 adult men when he was a kid. So he's got the smarts.
To be fair, they weren't like top tier fighters.
No. They were the water bandits.
The wet bandits, Derek.
The wet bandits.
Water bandits. What the hell are you talking about?
Hey, I was in the neighborhood.
I think if Jensen Ackles isn't the next Batman, I just quit. I give up.
Yeah, and I would love to have caught him like 5 years younger. Not that he's old. I'm not saying that, but he's got to be approaching his 40s.
Alan Richardson, man.
Who? Oh, for sure. I know he's in his 40s, but man, he would be the guy. Lydia, he's the actor who plays Jack Reacher, and he was in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, but you wouldn't have known him from that because he looked like a turtle.
Yeah, he was a turtle in that movie, but no, he's Jack Reacher, and he's really good, and he's huge.
He is.
He looks like comic book Batman, that's for sure.
Yeah, he does.
All right, now we're off
eyes.
of our. Thanks for tuning in to our DC hour. This podcast turned into a DC love fest for a minute there, but hey, you know what? As of this recording, the Superman trailer just dropped, and it's fucking amazing. So I'm kind of all in the mode. You saw it, right, Derek?
Hala mode?
Yeah, you watched it.
I did. I watched it 4 times. I've watched it a couple times.
Have you seen it yet, Lydia?
No.
You have to watch it. You're missing out. It's incredible. I'm excited. July 11th, I'll be there with bells on. And that wraps up the horror news and the DC hour. So guys, picture it. You're sitting at a computer screen and you're typing a script. And you're like, man, let's see. We have killer clowns. We have masked murderers. You know what we don't have? Killer butthole monsters. So you type it out and you say, killer butthole monsters.
This movie, I know how this movie came to be. I know, because I feel like it and I connected in a way. So here's how this idea came out. There was some guy who was around some people, probably in an elevator, and he farted, and he was like, man, I know I'm not a serial killer, but my farts kill people. And he was like, I'm going to write a movie about a colon butt monster that comes out and kills people. That's how it happened.
I don't think that's how it happened. I think that's how you would make a movie. I think you think about farting in elevators all the time is what I think.
Yeah.
I try not to, only because there are cameras and I don't want to be,
He doesn't want to be found out.
I don't want him to know.
There's witnesses. There's witnesses to the crime. You're not very good at hiding it. You usually hike up a leg or something. So they know it was you.
I do not hike up a leg.
You usually
bend over.
Doesn't he, Lydia?
Well, I mean, when I'm in a chair, but that's different, because it's like it's blocking my progress is what it's doing.
Oh no, Lydia saw you just stick your entire ass into a room and fart. So
yeah, that was different though, because I did not know that she was there. So feel like I get a get out of jail free card for that one.
oh my god. So Bad Milo is a horror comedy on starring Kid Moreno. It actually has a good cast of actors. Toby Hess is in it. Peter Stormare, who we love dearly, is in it. Stephen Root is in it. Yeah, it's a pretty stacked cast. Who else is in this thing? Kamal Nanjiani's in it as the mother's boyfriend, which is
I love him.
Yeah.
He's great.
He's
He
so
is
great.
good.
And it has so many. Gilliam Jacobs from Community's in it. Patrick Warburton's in this thing. Like, this is a pretty stacked cast of actors. So, had either of you heard of this before Derek, saw it on a list of movies and researched it?
No.
Oh, I've watched this movie before.
You had seen this before?
Yeah.
Of course he had.
What? I didn't want to be the only one.
Oh my god. So yeah,
Lydia, you can take that, dude.
So you've seen this before, Derek. So this is your second time watching this.
Yeah, I haven't seen this movie in a long time. When did this movie come out?
2013, I do believe.
2013. It was probably around then when I saw it. Like, it's been a while.
It was on Netflix at one point.
Yeah.
That's where you watched it. I remember seeing it, and I almost watched it, but I didn't. I just didn't. But I've completely forgot about this. I didn't know what it was about. I just saw the cover. I was like, Bad Milo, meh. I'm not really in the mood for that. And then, Derek, you picked it last week after you said, oh, let's watch the Butthole Monster movie. And we were confused at what the hell you were talking about because you said, the Butthole Milo. And we had no idea what you were talking about. But here we are, Bad Milo. So, where do you guys want to start with this thing? Lydia, where do you want to start?
The end. Let's just skip straight to the end.
All right. Derek, where do you want to start? Technically, the beginning is the end.
That's a good point.
It technically is. Yeah, you're right.
It's the start of the end, though. It's the start of the third act, at least. So yeah, I mean, let's just talk about like the characters and the plot. So I mean, I don't hate the setup. I think it's pretty fun that it's the guy who's basically can't deal with the stress. He's not good at dealing with the stress. He's kind of keeping it all in. He's not standing up for himself. That sort of thing. So it's manifesting as what it would do in real life, a polyp or an ulcer. Those happen with that kind of thing. Except in this one, it turns into a butt demon that comes out. So,
a hereditary butt demon that comes out.
Hereditary butt demon, which is wild. So the tone of this movie is pretty interesting because obviously it doesn't take itself seriously. It plays for the laughs, obviously. And then, but it kind of has some pretty cool effects here and there too, which we'll get into. What do you guys think of, like we just talked about that cast? This cast is great, right?
Oh,
pretty good.
It is, yeah. Yeah, not bad at all. And I mean,
I think they all deliver. Yeah.
Oh, I agree. I think they all deliver as well.
there are some pretty. I think Ken Moreno does a really good job in the lead as Duncan. You kind of feel his pain. You kind of feel his like anxieties. He's lands Ken Moreno's just great always in everything.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just never not good. He just has a perfect, like, distinct sense of humor, sensibility that just lands with me. So he's good in this. But dude, the first act before the butt monster stuff happens, there's some pretty funny stuff that happens. Like, I think the whole scene with when we meet his mom and her boyfriend is pretty hilarious.
Yeah, it is pretty funny. I'm trying to think of some actual like specific dialogue because there was some
just
really
the fact
good
that
jokes in this movie.
Yeah, well, the whole bit that he's like, younger than him, and he's like, "You can call me Dad if you want. You can call me Daddy." Actually, don't call me Daddy. Somebody else uses that name. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Like the minute he like leans over and starts kissing his mom at the dinner table, I was like, this is amazing. I was like, this would be incredibly stressful.
And he said, "Oh, that's the spiciest dish. That's the spiciest dish at the table."
Yeah.
And then they bring in that fucking weird ass fertility doctor. Is hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
And they just keep talking about, oh, well, if you have erectile dysfunction, it happens. I mean, I don't have that problem. Oh, neither do we. They just, the most awkward, everything about it just so awkward. He gets, Also, Patrick Warburton's really funny as his boss is just like this fucking complete douchebag that makes him fire everybody and is doing insider trading, just being an awful piece of crap. But when he goes and visits the therapist and we see it's Peter Stermore, I fucking like almost jumped out of this couch, honestly. I was like, yeah, he's the best. We love that guy and everything he's in. And he's great in this. He's actually really funny in this. Like that first meeting with them.
Mm-hmm. And you're not sure what to make of him. And that fucking parrot, dude.
Dude, the parrot is so funny.
Kills me. He's like, I will pluck out your feathers. Along those lines.
When he says,
"Witch doctor,
don't listen to him." It's like he argues with it. When he has to be hypnotized later in the movie, and he's hypnotizing him when he first, meets Milo, and the bird, he's like said something about Dad, and he's like, abandonment issues. Like, shut up. So the first attack, when Milo first attacks, is pretty fun because we get that.
Oh,
so first of all, his QB. I've got to say, I love the fact that they put him in a non-working bathroom as their office. And he calls her. He's like, "So I got some bad news. One, the toilets don't work. So we'll have a janitor come and fix that in the morning. And then I also deleted your entire year's worth of work." So Milo, pops in there and kills him. And, we don't see anything. It's all off screen because it's like hiding the mystery of him or whatever. But guys, I'm going to tell you right now, my favorite running joke in the movie, the one I think actually works real well in this, is that they keep saying that they're raccoon attacks, that he was killed by a raccoon. I think that is so fucking funny.
That made me chuckle a couple times.
Yeah. It's like another raccoon attack. A raccoon or a serial killer.
Yeah, and then at the end, when he goes, her boyfriend, Bob or whatever, he goes, "Is another raccoon attack?" It's like, it's not a raccoon. So yeah, that's a great bit. And then we get to see Milo finally out of the when he comes out of the butt of when he's with the psychiatrist, and we get to see him. What do you guys think of the Milo's design?
As cheesy as it might be, I am so glad that it was like a practical like doll, and they didn't try to CG that shit. Because I think, I thought it worked for like the type of movie that they were going for. I think it totally worked. And he's also kind of cute. Not when he has shit on him, but There's
Guys,
a point where
I
they're
can't
cuddling on
with
the
this.
couch.
What do you
There's
think?
a
What do
point
you
where
think
they're
of his
cuddling on the
design?
couch, and it's
And with his
adorable.
big eyes.
Yeah. No,
Mhm.
I think the design is pretty good. He kind of reminds me of like a Funko Pop, you know,
Yeah. He kind of does. You're right. Yeah.
but like a nasty one.
Yeah, because he's a fucking Colon monster. Derek, he's kind of cute when he doesn't have shit all over him or his evil teeth. Yeah. So this next attack with the doctor. What do you guys think of this?
Oh, I'm glad the doctor didn't die.
Was that
No,
real?
not that
This one.
doctor. Not that doctor. I was talking about the other doctor. But yes. But first, let's talk
the
about that
tip
scene.
doctor
Yeah.
in the
First,
alleyway.
First, let's talk about the that scene
Hypnosis
where
scene?
hypnosis scene. Yeah. Because he has a dream, which the doctor is checking for the polyp, and he gets sucked into his face gets sucked into his butthole, and he wakes up.
Dude, come on.
His face is all.
I was
ripped up.
like, I looked at Jake and I was like, I have to go talk about this movie. I was thinking of all the things that I was gonna text Derek angrily, but I didn't send any of it. So
You SOB. How could you? 2
Um,
hours of my life I can't get back.
so, Derek, the doctor scene not the alleyway scene, the scene where he's hypnotized. What do you guys think of that?
Pivotal moment, man. This is the first time he sees, because he wakes up. He tells him to wake up from the hypnosis.
Hypnosis.
Mhm.
And he sees that there's a butt demon.
Yeah, because he's like,
and I love the lore.
Dude,
I love because when he escapes and they're like, "Oh, I have read about this before."
dude, that
before there were
fucking
gods.
dude, that made me laugh so hard that he had a book that had a fucking butt dragon coming out of it. He's talking about the anus. I was like, what are we doing here? What are we watching here?
This movie
And
had to be like somebody was high on something, and they were
Dude,
like, "I'm gonna write down a bunch of notes."
Dude, during that scene when they're talking about the butt demon and the dragon, I thought about you, Lydia, and I was like, she is probably like, what the fuck is this? Oh man. So the attack in the alleyway, pretty funny. He ostensibly gets a hooker and gives her oral, and then she leaves. She says, "Oh, I don't do that." He unzips his pants. Then the dude starts whacking it right in the alley. What is this?
Yeah, that's where I was
man,
really like,
gotta finish.
No. I was like, this movie is weird, and I was uncomfortable with this whole thing.
Well, it doesn't last long because Milo shows up and literally bites his dick off, guys.
Yeah.
Actually looked pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty cool.
It was fine.
Oh, Lydia, I am so
like,
sorry.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, man. This movie is just a little bit too much,
was too much for
buttholes going on.
There's a lot of butt stuff going on. A lot of butt stuff. So when he goes to visit his dad, because basically that's how he thinks he can resolve these issues is, because when Milo comes back and he's bonding with him and he makes him crawl into his butthole. It's so wild. He's just bent over.
There was a scene, I'm pretty sure that he broke character. I think it might have been while he was on the couch and he started the intense pain right before he popped out when he was when he got hypnotized. I'm telling you, there was a scene where Ken was he was laughing or at least smiling when he was doing it. And I'm just like, hey man, you can't keep a straight face on a movie like this. It's impossible. You're gonna break it once or twice.
So, yeah, when he goes to visit his dad, and his dad's played by Stephen Root, who is fucking excellent in everything he's in as well.
Stapler.
So when that TP opened up and Ken Root popped out, and Stephen Root popped out, I was fucking again did another fist bump. I was like, yes, he's great too. He's gonna kill this scene, and he did. He's just like super high. His father left him at a young age, and so he always stays only in the present, never in the past, and all this stuff. And we find out why eventually. But Lydia, I've got to ask you about this scene in the portal pot. What are you feeling about this?
Well, okay, so first of all, I pretty much knew where this was all going.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, oh, okay, so he has this too, right?
Yes.
That's why he's like, has to live in the moment and cannot even ever think of anything stressful. Yeah, the porta pot, that's disgusting. He's like, all right, I'll let you out. He like falls in the porta pot, like, and then comes
shakes
up and
off
starts
all of his
shaking
shit.
off. I'm just like, come on.
Covered in shit.
That's
And he's
so
like, you're not gonna
dumb.
eat my dad. You're not gonna eat my dad. So how about instead I'll give you food at the office. So when he gets to the office, he goes to feed him a fucking rat.
A mouse.
A mouse running in the wheel. So he's trying to stick a mouse up his butthole.
I just like, I don't know, guys. I really hate this movie.
Derek, what do you think of this bit?
Oh, I loved it, man. And then that lady walks in. By the way, I think at this point, because when he goes back in there, his coworker had died in there. And there's still blood all over the back of the wall.
That made me laugh so much. Yeah, I laughed.
And he's
I love
still
how they
just
like
covered in poop, like poop water
and
stuff all over him.
Yeah.
And he never cleans it off.
He doesn't. You're right, Lydia. But you know what? He's got a poop monster coming out of him. At this point, he's game for anything. But somebody makes a comment in the lobby as he's going up to the office. Like, oh, what's that smell?
Dude.
Yeah, when he's like, oh.
Yeah, so he's like trying
to put it up his butt.
Well, yeah, that's what he tries to do. He tries to shove the mouse up his butt. When I was reading, I heard that was Richard Gere's favorite scene. Perpetuating 40-year-old rumors. That's not true. Please do not sue us, Richard Gere. I'm kidding. But yeah, then that's when they find out that the feds are coming, man. The feds are coming. And, it's all insider training. So he finally lets Milo out, lets Milo loose on his boss. He had it coming, right, guys?
100% he did.
Pretty much. Still murder, but pretty much.
I mean, a murder if your ass demon kill somebody.
You can only control it for so long.
That'd be like if your fart killed somebody. Was that murder, Lydia?
Derek, you'd be the first to go on trial for it.
If you intentionally
they might try to get you with what
manslaughter,
weapons of like illegal weapons of war or something. Like if your pooping part was that bad.
Maybe negligent homicide because you knew there was a danger and you didn't stop it. Yeah.
What? If it was strong enough to kill somebody on the outside, just think of the danger it was posing on the inside.
Well, I meant Milo.
Oh, Milo. I still think that you could get away with that in court.
So that's when they have the headline raccoon or serial killer on the newscast.
Yeah. It's like because the one person that had like those two coworkers in common would be him. So he's like freaking out.
Yeah, because he goes home and he finds out that his wife, Sarah, is pregnant. So that adds more to his stress. And then he's fearing that.
Oh, he loses it, man. He can't. He
Yeah.
leaves.
Well, because he fears that if he stays, Milo's going to attack her because he's just. So he leaves and goes to a hotel, and that's when we get that. We get a really fun montage, I think, of like him, like them laying on the couch together, and he's just like kind of.
I know.
Rubbing his head, and then he's trying to feed him, like he feeds him cat food. He acts like a toddler. So he just, trust me, I've seen Connor do this. Push the food away, doesn't want it. And then you're like, okay. So you give him something else. He just wants his goddamn applesauce. That's all he wants. But you're just like, so that bit's really funny. And then he does the, he wakes up and he's made that mess in the kitchen. He's like, dick move, Milo. Dick move. That's kind of where they bond for a minute. And then and then they have the therapy session where we find out the revelation that his dad has a butt monster named Ralph. What do you guys think of this butt monster fight? Come on, Lydia. You got to love that stuff. You got to love it. It's puppets fighting each other. Come on, that's fun. That's fun shit.
I like that his name was Ralph. That's about it. He looked very tired and I don't know.
Yeah.
Old,
Stoned, old and stoned.
Because he hasn't been released in years and years. You imagine?
Yeah, so he's old, decrepit and shit. And then he and Milo have like a drag down fight. Milo ends up stabbing him to death. And then he finds out that Sarah's pregnant, so he goes to attack her, which puts us at the beginning. Derek, what'd you think of the puppet fight?
Well, I loved it, man. I was there for every second. It was great. And then Milo starts like stabbing him and his dad starts dying. You're like, oh, the connection.
Yep.
But yeah, it was great. Loved it.
Lydia's face while you described how much you love that. That's how we feel when Lydia talks about a Puppet Master movie. So then we get our third act. What do you guys think of this third act? The attack on the house. Because I'm going to say I lost it when she goes down to the basement and it's a sex dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I'm like, and she's like looking at all this stuff. Oh, or she like when Milo doesn't make it down there and she's like throwing dildos at him.
Yeah. That's great stuff. The fact that her mom says, "Oh, I wouldn't go down there. It's really cluttered," and she walks down, there's a fucking sex swing.
The fact that swing broke makes me like worried for them, though.
Yeah,
like, that
no
thing
kidding.
Broke as soon as she touched it.
Yeah.
They just wore it out, Lydia. That's
I guess. That seems like.
Eek. That's hilarious. Then he goes down the sink to attack her, and her little fight is pretty good. And I love when he goes out and they all have tiki torches, and they're like waving it at him, and he's like, "Put the fire right in his face! Put the fire in his face!" And then Duncan has to attack him because he's trying to kill his wife and family. So he says, "Leave my wife alone, my family alone." But he doesn't kill him because he realizes that he's just doing what he wanted him to do and that he's a part of him. So instead they make up and he shoves him back up his asshole.
I love when he is like, are you turning him? Are you turning him? And she's like, no, he's I think he's turning himself. When he's getting shoved back up his ass.
Dude, I also love that
next level.
I also love that his mom is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I should have told you." She's because you knew, newish, I just didn't know it was hereditary, but I should have with all the bowel troubles and everything. And he's just like, I can't. And he goes, "I'm going to use your bathroom. I'm probably not going to clean it up though." That line made me laugh. That's his passive aggressive revenge.
Yeah, that seemed like a little bit of ad lib right there.
Yeah, it's great. I'm not gonna clean it up though. So yeah, him and Milo make up because Milo is a part of him, and then and it's also it's teaching him to be a dad. Kind of is what the plot is doing. I mean, that's kind of the bit of Milo is him overcoming his fear of becoming a father. But the ending to this movie is something else. So we get like a montage of him, like, he started his own consulting firm. He's telling us about all this, how he basically how everything's better now, and how he's, he cares deeply about his employees and everything. We see that, it's a boy. He's having a boy. They're at the party. His dad's still alive. He's like in a wheelchair, but he's alive. And then the dad looks over at the baby and makes a face, or at Sarah makes a face, and we zoom in and we see the fetus, and then inside the fetus there's another butt monster. It continues. What do you think of this ending, Derek?
I was glad to see that he took control of his life and stress wasn't, controlling him now, and he had beat his ass demons, if you will. And it's a it's a cautionary tale about stress and
anxiety of fatherhood.
Yeah.
What'd you think of this ending, Lydia?
Yeah, it was an ending. I don't know. I guess
feel like you weren't into this movie, Lydia.
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. I watched it. It was just, it was a little silly. It wasn't very scary.
Well, of course not. No.
But like, as far as like anxiety goes, I get that, and I feel it. I feel the moral of the story a little bit, which I hate to admit on this movie, but
yeah.
As someone who suffers with stress and anxiety daily, it's it can be a monster.
Mm-hmm. It can. If you don't control it, it could take over and hurt the people that you're angry at, and also cause your butthole to rip open.
Mm-hmm. Something
you
like
don't
that.
want that to happen. You don't want that to happen. Some people might, though. I'm not king shame.
You want to know a tragedy surrounding this movie?
What's that, Derek?
This motherfucker only grossed $19,613 at the box office.
Well, yeah, Derek.
That is an absolute tragedy.
That's because it was only released it was released theatrically, like a limited theatrical release on October 4th of 2013.
I guess
it was
that
basically
makes it
directed.
better.
It was direct to streaming, pretty much.
Okay.
But it had it was video on demand, and then it was given a limited theatrical release.
Okay.
So, yeah. That is Bad Milo. Bad Milo. What do you guys think? What are we thinking about Bad Milo, guys?
I'll take this one. All right, so it's a little unorthodox. I'll give you that. Is it the cup of tea for everybody? Obviously not. But I'll tell you what, I had fun. This movie was fun. It had a lot of good comedy in it. Mm-hmm. The actors were people you recognize. They did a great job. As ridiculous as the story was, like, I would watch this movie again.
I've already watched it twice, so
I know. I'm just saying. I can't wait until Clark is like probably in his 30s before he'll actually appreciate it.
In his 30s,
and then we can watch it and he'll appreciate. Otherwise, he's gonna in his teens is gonna be like, Dad, what's wrong with you? And I don't want him to be like that. I want him to be like, Dad, I've got gas too. I feel your pain. I'll be like, thanks, son. I'm gonna rub it in your face when I'm 70, Lydia, and Clark likes it.
He's not gonna like it. He's not gonna like it.
Anyway, I didn't get to my rating. All right,
No.
I'm gonna tell you, I liked this. I'm gonna give this movie a 7. This movie,
7.
uh-huh.
Well, you did give Lumberjack Man like a 7 as well, I guess.
This was a solid comedic movie with horror elements and a nasty.
Correct. Correct, Armando. Lydia, what do you think about Bad Milo?
Well, it's kind of hard to judge this one because I do feel like it's decently made.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It has
like
pretty
it's
good
not
practical
like
effects.
yeah, it's not like a terrible movie if you can stomach all the disgusting things that are happening on the screen. Like it's just gross out comedy, really. Yeah. And it's like I feel like it could have been better though. Like it's funny, but it didn't have me like rolling on the ground laughing. You know, like I chuckled several times, but mostly to, you know, I think Jake liked it more than I did. So it was kind of.
I bet you Jake liked it a lot. Yeah.
But
it
I
seems just like a
movie
right up Jake's alley. Yeah.
But
maybe up Satan's alley.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I could give it over a 5. I probably wouldn't recommend it to very many people.
You know, I'm curious if you showed this to 100 women and 100 men, I would imagine that the humor went over better with the men than it did the women. Is my guess. It's a hunch. All right, I'm gonna mark you down as a 5.
All right. Yeah. You know what? I went in this not knowing what to expect. Really, I was going in expecting to hate it. Or at least not like it very much. But then it had Ken Moreno in it, and I was like, you know what? It might be okay. And then as it's going, I found myself engaged the entire time. Like, that's the difference. Is, yes, it's silly, and it's, you know, goofy, and dumb, and gross. But I was not bored at all watching. I didn't look at my phone. I wasn't counting down the time till it's over. I was watching it. Like, you know, do you guys remember when we did Puppet Master 4 and it just was the slowest, most boring movie ever and nothing happened throughout the whole thing?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, you remember it, Derek.
I do.
This was not that. This had at least something going on every scene. I thought it was decently funny. I'm going to give it I'll give it a 6. Be right between you guys. Because I think it's okay. I don't think it's, you know, nowhere near a 7, Derek. You're fucking wild. It's nowhere near a 7.
Like we've given like pretty decent movies a 7.
Yeah. I don't think it's
all right.
there.
So here's the thing. I gave a 6 to Christmas Evil. This was way better than Christmas Evil. You know, I mean, the thing about this, in my opinion,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, because you didn't like Christmas Evil very much.
Yeah, I like Christmas Evil.
I think me and Jamie liked it more than you, so I guess that's fair.
Well, these are only subjective.
What did I give Christmas
ratings
Evil
anyway?
I said, what did I give Christmas Evil?
Oh, you gave Christmas Evil I didn't catch that. You gave it a 6. All 3 of us gave it a 6.
Yeah,
that's right.
The devil. Yeah.
That's interesting.
I'd say that's probably right. Yeah, for me.
We all gave it the same number, but like we liked it on different level. Like,
yeah,
I feel like you know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I think what I think about Christmas Evil, I just think the cinematography and stuff was awesome, and I think if the ending wasn't that fucking batshit wild ending, I probably would have given that movie a 7 or higher, because I thought it was pretty solid up to that point. Yeah. But yeah, this movie, I think it's fun. it's not gonna I mean, I give it a 6 just on recommendation. I think as a movie, I'd probably give it I'd lean more towards a 5, 5.5. But I liked it. I had fun with it, so I'm gonna give it a passing grade of a 6. And that's Bad Milo. Now, guys, here's the real question. We got to Atkinize Bad Milo. Who would the great Tom Atkins play?
Thrill me.
You'd have to play the mom's boyfriend.
Yeah, I mean, the joke of him being much younger wouldn't be there. Well, I guess it's any era Atkins, right? So we could do young Tom Atkins.
Yeah.
It would be funny to put him as the dad too, and just have him like this like
It would be really funny as the dad too.
Stoned character that's like trying
that would be
to
good.
Suppress his emotions.
His own butt demon. That'd be good. Yeah, I agree with that. That's who I'd put him as well, Lydia. So Lydia, what are we watching?
All right, guys. I think we are gonna go with Hellraiser.
1987's Hellraiser, written and directed by Clive Barker. Where's Hellraiser streaming, guys? Let's find out.
Nothing put you in the holiday spirit.
Guys,
like Hellraiser.
Hellraiser is streaming free on Tubi, Pluto TV, Philo, AMC Plus with a subscription. That'd be no commercials on that one. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's on Fubo.
Oh, dang
it's
it.
Unfortunate.
We love Fubo.
We do love Fubo. So that next week, Hellraiser, you can watch them on all of those. And so, Derek, do you have a story for us?
I do have a story, actually. And it's the most adorable thing.
Oh, not adorable stories. Adorable stories are...
No, it's also super impressive. Like, I'm pretty sure I've got one of the smartest 3-year-olds that's ever lived. So we went to dinner tonight, and we went to Chewy's. If you don't know what Chewy's is, it's a Tex-Mex place. And so we're ordering. My wife is ordering for the 2 kids, and they always get the same thing. They love it. And Ellie, who is 3, she turned 3 in November, so she's just a little over 3. After my wife gets done ordering the food, and the lady was like, everything on it, my little 3-year-old daughter's like, actually, no lettuce or tomato.
She knows what
and
she
it
likes.
Blew me, because my son would, first off, never ask that. But from the last time that we went there, which was like probably a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, we went there. But from that point to now, she remembered that she didn't like that, and she knew to ask not to have it put on the plate. I was like, just blown away that she. Anyway, maybe I'm alone on that, but I was impressed.
That is
I don't
impressive.
think any 3-year-olds would have thought to do that.
Yeah, that is impressive. I mean, most adults won't do that.
No, most adults have their wives do that for them.
Yeah.
No males. Hey, honey, could you tell them I don't want lettuce?
Yeah.
And then if they bring it with lettuce, you know what we do?
Blame our wife.
No, we tell our wives, hey, they put lettuce on it. So then they'll say, excuse me, he didn't want any lettuce. And then you say, oh, no, it's not a big deal. You want me to take that? Sure. Thanks, honey.
That's not how it goes down. But anyway, I was impressed with her little self.
Why don't you tell us now a story about when your butt demon came out?
I don't know if we want to hear that.
We know you got some butt demon stories.
I farted.
think he's
today,
told them all.
I'm not gonna lie. I was just like, damn, that could kill somebody. It was pretty gnarly.
Is that what you're thinking about the laws about farting and killing somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's on your mind.
These are things people want to know in case they're ever in legal jeopardy.
Now you know, folks. Now you know.
Can I fart in an elevator? What happens if I do kill somebody?
So this is a wild episode. This episode's full of nothing but fart and poop and talks of buttholes. or as I like to call it, Derek's dream episode. So he's right at home with this one.
So.
You did ask for it. So that wraps up this week's episode of Scream Bloody Movies with Bad Milo. Next week we are watching another gross ass fuck movie called Hellraiser, but it's a classic, Clive Barker's Hellraiser. And like I said, it's streaming on Tubi, Pluto TV, AMC Plus, all of those streaming services. So definitely watch that. Do your homework so that way you're ready to listen to us talk about it next week. The movie is chugging along. We'll have a link for you because by the time this airs, we will have the Indiegogo live. So you'll see the link in the description below. And go over there, check out the trailer, let us know what you think. And of course, if you feel so inclined, throw a couple bucks at it so we can get this thing made. So it's good stuff. I mean, casting's coming along. Casting's done. Crew's assembled. We are just on to this phase. So it's happening, folks. So that's our show. So next week, Hellraiser. Watch it. We appreciate you guys tuning in and watching our season 5 premiere, which is great because it's about a butthole monster. So nothing starts the season like a butthole monster. So there ain't no party like a butthole party. Woo, woo.
I quit.
So next week, Hellraiser. Until then, for Derek Lemaster and Lydia Judy, I'm Jamie Hiles. Remember, if you're going to scream bloody movies.